Shalom Yasharallah, giving all praise and glory to the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. As always, I'm going to start off with Colossians 3 and 17. Whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Hashem Mashiach Yahushai, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Hashem Mashiach Yahushai. So all that we say and do is going to be in the name of the anointed Savior Mashiach Yahushai. We give thanks to the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because he's worthy to be praised for everything. Hallelujah, to his glorious and holy name, forever and ever and ever. Yes. So I want to continue to look into, what we're dealing with, Yasharallah humbling themselves to be able to please the Most High is very, very important. Very, very important. So we're going to look at Exodus 10th chapter, because it's very important that we humble ourselves before the Most High, before He humbles us. He bring forth His judgment. You don't want to fall into the hands of the living power, the Most High. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, for sure. So, we're going to look at Exodus 10th chapter. Exodus the 10th chapter. Most High gave us instructions, and start at verse 1. Exodus 10 and 1. We'll concentrate on verse 3. Now the Most High said unto Moses, Go in unto Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart, and the heart of his servants, that the Most High might show these my signs before him. So the Most High hardened Pharaoh's mind. Heart means the mind, so that he might show him signs that he have to see, because he gave him 10 plagues that went out against the Egyptians. Verse 2, and that thou mayest tell in the ears of thy son and of thy son's son, tell our children what things I have wrought in Egypt, the things I have done in Egypt, and my signs which I have done among them, that you may know how that I am the Most High. I'll read you it again, because this is very, very important that we hear what the Most High is doing this for. And that thou mayest tell in the ears of thy son. 10 plagues he brought upon the Egyptians. So he's telling them that you may tell in the ears of your sons, and of thy son's son, and of the son's sons, going down throughout the lineage. What things I have wrought in Egypt, the things that I've done in Egypt, the Most High done in Egypt. And my signs which I have done among them, among the Egyptians. 10 plagues, that you may know how that I am the Most High. So these things supposed to be talked about from generation to generation to generation. And Moses and Aaron came in unto Pharaoh and said unto him, Thus said the Most High power of the Hebrews, how long wilt thou refuse to humble thyself before me? Let my people go, that they may serve me. Else, if you don't, if thou refuse to let my people go, the children of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, because all 12 tribes were in the Egyptian captivity. If you refuse to let my people go, behold, tomorrow will I bring the locusts into thy coast, and they shall cover the face of the earth, that one cannot be able to see the earth. and they shall eat the residue of that which is escaped, which remaineth unto you from the hail, and shall eat every tree which groweth for you out of the field. And they shall fill thy houses, and the houses of all thy servants, and the houses of all the Egyptians, which neither thy fathers nor thy fathers' fathers have seen, since the day that they were upon the earth. Nobody ever seen the amount of locusts that the Most High said He's going to bring upon the Egyptians, land, to eat up everything, until this day. And he turned himself and went out from Pharaoh. So he told him, see, you understand this? Most High hardened his heart. And then he told him, you got to humble yourself before the Most High. But he's doing all this to get him a name. While he's telling us that we're supposed to tell our sons and our sons' sons how he did the things that he did to get him a name. We all were in Egyptian captivity, 12 tribes of Israel. And he's going to get him a name once these kingdoms are shut down and righteousness is set up. They will remember this forever and ever and ever, because he's going to be all in all in the end. That's what it's all about. And you're going to see how, well, I don't know if you'll see or not, but I've seen it, where the Most High, he got to rise. Then he going to tell him H.O.D.C to rise. Then we going to rise. We can't rise without him. Go to Deuteronomy, the 8th chapter. Deuteronomy, the 8th chapter. And we'll start at 1. Because, you know, we still dealing with 2 Chronicles 7 and 14. Matter of fact, let's go there now. 2 Chronicles 7:14. Then we'll go back to Deuteronomy. Because it's, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves. So I dealt with pride. I showed pride in abundance of scriptures. So now I want to deal with humility. Because he said, the first thing he said, so you know not to be as the scriptures have. You can just go over when I showed you what pride in the scriptures is. So once you go through those scriptures, you know pride is opposite of being humble. So if you can look at the previous lessons and look at this lesson pertaining to being humble. This is what first thing he's telling us. If my people, which are called by my name, we're called by the Most High's name, Yahshua Allah, shall humble themselves. That's what we're looking at. We got to humble ourselves. Okay? And that's what we're looking at in cases of humility. We being humble. So go to Deuteronomy, the 8th chapter. And we're going to cover it all over the Bible. So Deuteronomy, the 8th chapter, and start at verse 1. It says, all the commandments which I command thee this day shall you observe to do. So Most High telling us over and over again to observe the commandments that he gave us and do the commandments that he gave us. All the commandments which I command thee this day shall you observe to do, that ye may live. So if you don't keep the commandments, you're going to die. That's why you got a choice to choose life or death. So he said that you may live and multiply, have a lot of children, and go in and possess the land which the Most High sware unto your fathers. It said, and thou shalt remember all the way which the Most High thy power led thee these 40 years in the wilderness. You hear what he said? It's still remembering the Most High and what he's done unto this day. Boast on him. We got the power of powers of powers of powers of powers. The Most High. So it said, and thou shalt remember, you got to think about it, all the way which the Most High thy power led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee. You hear what he said? 40 years in the wilderness to humble us, to take away all the pride, and to prove thee, to prove ourselves as the Israelites, to know what was in thine heart, to know what was in our mind, whether thou wouldst keep his commandments or no. We're going to keep the commandments or not. 40 years. And what do? Messed up. But you're going to see. Arguing with Moses and Aaron, going off, complaining, murmuring, but really complaining about the Most High, like as it is today. People want to point the finger at the messenger, but really you have a problem with the Most High. Because I'm bringing the scriptures. And messengers, all of the messengers that's only in these last days bringing forth the scriptures. You got to take it up with the Most High. He said you're going to see whether or not we're going to follow his commandments or not. And he humbled thee. You hear that? The Most High humbled us. And suffered thee to hunger. Had us hunger. Be hungry. And fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not. Neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High does man live. You hear that? Every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High does man live. Thy raiment waxed not old. Listen at this. Our clothes never got old upon thee. Our clothes never got old. Neither did thy foot swell, our feet did swell these 40 years. For 40 years. Thou shalt also consider in thine heart, consider this in your mind, that as a man chasteneth his son, so the Most High thy power chasten thee. Therefore thou shalt keep the commandments of the Most High thy power, to walk in his ways and to fear him. See? So, these are orders from the Most High. Verse 11. Beware, he put you on notice, that thou forget not the Most High, thy power, your power. Don't forget me. Most High said, don't forget me. You only need me. Do what I say do. Keep my ways, keep my commandments. So I say, beware that thou forget not the Most High thy power, your power, Yasharallah, Israelites, in not keeping his commandments. So you can't say that you believe in the Most High, that you have not forgotten the Most High, if you don't keep the commandments. You don't keep the commandments, you don't know him. This is what he said, beware that thou forget not the Most High thy power in not keeping his commandments. So you don't keep his commandments, you forget them. You forget about him. He the one that gave us all these laws and his judgments and his statutes, which I command thee this day. Lest when thou hast eaten and art full, and hast built goodly houses and dwelt therein, and when thy herds and thy flocks multiply, and thy silver and thy gold is multiplied, and all that thou hast is multiplied, then thine heart, then your mind be lifted up. Oh, you become prideful. I done bless you with gold and silver, crops and herds and so forth. Then thine heart be lifted up. You start to be thinking that you all that. Pride comes in. And thou forget the Most High thy power, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage, who led thee through that great and terrible wilderness, wherein were fiery serpents and scorpions and drought, where there was no water, who brought thee forth water out of the rock of flint, who fed thee in the wilderness with manna, which thy fathers knew not, that he might humble thee, see, and that he might prove thee, to do thee good at thy latter end. And thou sayest in thine heart, you say in your mind, My power and the might of mine hand have gotten me this wealth. See, that's how people feel right today. They don't give the Most High credit for wealth. They say this. And thou say in thine heart. This is what they said in their mind right today. All the way to today. My power and the might of mine hand have gotten me this wealth. Thou shalt remember the Most High thy power. For it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant which he sware to thy fathers, as it is this day. See? And it shall be, if thou do at all forget the Most High thy power, it's all about the Most High, I'm telling you, and walk after other gods, you walk after other idols, different religions and so forth, that has nothing to do with the Most High's moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, and ceremonial laws, and serve them and worship them, I testify against you this day that ye shall surely perish. I am going to put you to death, the Most High saying. As the nations which the Most High destroyed before your face, so shall ye perish, because ye would not be obedient unto the voice of the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. He said, I'm going to destroy you just like I destroyed the nations that was before us to go into the land of Canaan. Thus say the Most High. Go to Judges, book of Judges. 19th chapter. We got to humble ourselves. Very much so. Judges 19. In verse 24. Behold, here is my daughter a maiden. Well, let me deal with the whole story. It's a story of the Levite and his concubine. And let's start up verse 16. I'm going to read down from there so you'll get the whole story. It's very important. So we deal with humility. You want to see examples of, this within our nation. And because being humble, let me read the definition, if I may. Being humble, let's read what it means. I'm just going to give you another definition of it through these passages here. So humble. Humble, meek or modest, differentially respectful, low in rank or station, to cause to be meek, to make lower or lesser, abase. And then the definition that we get ready to deal with right now is if you like you have your virgin or you have your woman, you have sex with her, that's humbling her. So let's read about that. Judges 19 and verse 16. And behold, there came an old man from his work out of the field at even, which was also of Mount Ephraim, and he sojourned in Gibeah, Salakia. But the men of the place were Benjamites. Men of the place were Benjamites. Benjamin, tribe of Israel. And when he had lifted up his eyes, he saw a wayfaring man in the street of the city. And the old man said, Whither goest thou? And whence cometh thou? Where you coming from? Where you coming from? Where you going? And he said unto him, We are passing by Bethlehem, Judah, toward the side of Mount Ephraim. From thence am I. And I went to Bethlehem, Judah, but I am now going to the house of the Most High, and there is no man that receiveth me the house. I don't have anywhere to live. I don't have anywhere where to go. Yet there is both straw and provender for our asses, and there is bread and wine also for me, and for thy handmaid, and for the young man which is with thy servants. There is no want of anything. There's nothing that you can want. And the old man said, Peace be with thee. Shalom. However, let all thy wants lie upon me. Only lies not in the streets. They don't lie in the street. You know, come stay with me. So he brought him into his house and gave proventer unto the asses, fed the asses, brought him in his house, fed his asses, and they washed their feet and did eat and drink. Now as they were making their hearts merry, behold, the men of the city who are Benjamites, certain sons of Belial, let you know that this is an act of Satan, beset the house round about. So they surrounded the house round about, and beat at the door, and spake to the master of the house, the old man, saying, Bring forth the man that came into thine house, that we may know him. Bring forth the man that came into your house, that we may have sex with him. Who are these? Verse 16. The men of Benjamites. They beaten at the door, and spake to the master, verse 22, of the house, the old man, saying, Bring forth the man that came into thine house, that we may know him. Know him means to have sex with him. Homosexual act. Who are they? Certain sons of Belial, certain sons of Satan. Verse 23. And the man, the master of the house, went out unto them and said unto them, No, nay, no, my brethren, nay, no, I pray you, do not so wickedly. So to have sex with a man is wickedness. He said, do not so wickedly, seeing that this man is coming to mine house. Do not this folly. Don't do this. They have surrounded the house. Now listen, God's humility and humble. Behold, here is my daughter, a maiden, and his concubine. Here's my daughter and his concubine. Them I will bring out now, and humble ye them. See what he's saying? And humble ye them. So humble means, like I said, you take this woman and you have sex with her. He said, humble ye them, and do with them what seemeth good unto you. But unto this man do not so vile a thing. So you women got to look at this. He said, here is my daughter. He's giving up his daughter and the man's concubine. The man just came into his house. Benjamin surrounded his house, and he said, here's my daughter and the concubine, the man's concubine. He said, have sex with them, humble them. But do not so vile a thing. For a man to have sex with another man, that's vile. But the men would not hearken to him. They ain't listen to him. So the man took his concubine and brought her forth unto them, and they knew her. They humbled her. They knew her. Another means of letting you know that they had sex with her. And abused her all the night until the morning. All night, just raped her all night long. And when the day began to spring, they let her go. Then came the woman in the dawning of the day, and fell down at the door of the man's house where her master was, till it was light. And her master rose up in the morning and opened the doors of the house and went out to go his way. And behold, the woman, his concubine, was fallen down at the door of the house, and her hands were upon the threshold. And he said unto her, Up, and let us be going. But none answered. She didn't answer. And the man took her up upon an ass, and the man rose up and got him unto his place. She was dead. They raped her all night long. She came home and fell down dead right there at the door of the man that had let her master be there, who they wanted to have sex with. And when he was coming to his house, he took a knife and laid hold on his concubine and divided her together with her bones into 12 pieces and sent her into all the coast of Israel. 12 pieces. He cut her up, her body up into 12 pieces, and sent her into all the coast of Israel, into all the tribes' lands. And it was so. All that saw it said, there was no such deed done nor seen from the day that the children of Israel came up out of the land of Egypt until this day. Consider of it. Take advice and speak your minds. So all the tribes got together to go against Benjamin, because they wouldn't give up the men that did it. So we went to war with Benjamin. Second Chronicles 7 and 14. This is what we're looking at. Second Chronicles 7 and 14. If my people, who are the 12 tribes of Israel, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves, we're looking at humbling ourselves tonight, and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. So this is where we at now, brothers, in humbling ourselves, praying without cease, seeking the Most High's face, turn from our wicked ways, keeping the law, statutes, commandments, and not sinning, so that the Most High will hear from heaven when we do this, and will forgive our sins and heal the land of Israel. Second Chronicles, the 34th chapter. Look at verse 1. Second Chronicles 34:1. Josiah was 8 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned in Jerusalem 31 years. 8 years old, 31 years to about 39, 39 years old when he stopped reigning. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Most High, and walked in the ways of David his father, and declined neither to the right hand nor to the left. He was righteous. For in the 8th year of his reign, 16 years old, while he was yet young, 16 years old, he began to seek after the Most High power of David his father. And in the 12th year, he began to purge Judah and Jerusalem from the high places, and the groves, and the carved images, and the molten images. Israel dealing with idolatry. And he brake down the altars of Balaam in his presence, and the images that were on high above them he cut down, and the groves, and the carved images, and the molten images he brake in pieces, and made dust of them, grinding them all the way down to dust. and and strewed it upon the graves of them that had sacrificed it to them. Took all the powder and put it on their graves. And he burnt the bones of the priests upon their altars, and cleansed Judah and Jerusalem. And so did he in the cities of Manasseh, and Ephraim, and Simeon, even unto Naphtali, with their mattocks round about. And when he had broken down the altars and the groves, and had beaten the graven images into powder, and cut down all the idols throughout all the land of Israel, he returned to Jerusalem. He returned to Jerusalem. So let's look at jump up to verse look at verse 14. 2 Chronicles 34 and 14. And when they brought out the money that was brought into the house of the Most High, Hilkiah the priest found a book of the law of the Most High given by Moses. First 5 books of Moses he found. And Hilkiah answered and said to Shaphan the scribe, I found the book of the law in the house of the Most High. And Hilkiah delivered the book to Shaphan. And Shaphan carried the book to the king, carried the law to the king, and brought the king word back again, saying, all that was committed to thy servants, they do it. And they have gathered together the money that was found in the house of the Most High, and have delivered it into the hand of the overseers and to the hand of the workmen. Then Shaphan the scribe told the king, saying, Hilkiah the priest have given me a book. And Shaphan read it before the king. And it came to pass, when the king had heard the words of the law, that he rent his clothes. When he heard the words of the law, he tore his clothes. And the king commanded Hilkiah and Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, and Abdan, the son of Micah, and Shaphan the scribe, and Asaiah, a servant of the king, saying, go inquire of the Most High for me, and for them that are left in Israel and in Judah, concerning the words of the book that is found, which is the book of the law. For great is the wrath of the Most High that is poured out upon us. The Most High wrath was poured out upon us, because our fathers have not kept the word of the Most High to do after all that is written in this book. Our forefathers didn't keep the laws of the Most High. So the wrath of the Most High came upon us. Like the wrath upon us, Jacob's trouble is upon us now, for not following the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. While we coming back to the Most High, and he going to heal our land and put us in our land. And the Most High going to be all in all. And Hilkiah and they that the king had appointed went to
We are having trouble connecting your call. Please.
The prophetess Salakia. So they went to Hildah, the prophetess, the wife of Shalom, the son of Tirthath, the son of Arah, keeper of the wardrobe. Now she dwelt in Jerusalem in the college. So we had colleges. Read it again. Keeper of the wardrobe. Now she dwelt in Jerusalem in the college, and they spake to her to that effect. And she answered them, thus said the Most High Power of Israel. That's pretty inclusive. The Most High Power of Israel, only the Israelites' power. Tell ye the man that sent you to me. Thus said the Most High Power, behold, I will bring evil upon this place and upon the inhabitants thereof, even all the curses that are written in the book which they have read before the king of Judah. So I will bring all these curses that's written in the law against the land, inhabitants, and the land, for being evil and wicked and doing abominable things. See, the Most High is righteous, but when you do evil, he made the evil for those that draw evil to them, for not following what he say do, doing what he say do. Because they have forsaken me. He would say, because they have forsaken me, verse 25, and have burned incense unto other gods, that they might provoke me to anger with all the works of their hands. Therefore my wrath shall be poured out upon this place, and shall not be quenched. And as for the king of Judah, who sent you to inquire of the Most High, so shall ye say unto him. This is what you tell him. Thus say the Most High, Power of Israel, concerning the words which thou hast heard. Verse 27. Listen attentively. Because thine heart was tender, and thou didst humble thyself before the Most High, when thou heard of his words against this place, and against the inhabitants thereof, and humblest thyself before me, and didst rend thy clothes, and weep before me, cry before the Most High, tore his clothes, and cry before the Most High, I have even heard thee, also said the Most High. That's a solution, a powerful solution, brothers and sisters. Once again, listen attentively. You want to get the Most High's attention? Keep his commandments, and look what happens. Do this. Just an example. Because thine heart was tender, his mind was tender, he cared, he was meek, and thou didst humble thyself before the Most High, when thou heard of these words against this place, and against the inhabitants thereof, against the people, against the land and the people, and against the inhabitants thereof, and humbleth thyself before me, before the Most High. Remember, his eyes 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and the secret things too. And didst rend thy clothes, he tore his clothes, and weep before me, and wept before the Most High, cried, tears before the Most High. I have even heard thee also, said the Most High. Behold, I will gather thee to thy fathers, and thou shalt be gathered to thy grave in peace. Neither shall thine eyes see all the evil that I will bring upon this place, and upon the inhabitants of the same. So they brought the king word again. You see, this is very important, because a lot of times, you know, the Most High will do this. He will make sure that people are taken out. They don't have to actually deal with seeing the evil that's coming. Look at get Isaiah 57 chapter. Isaiah 57 and verse 1. The righteous perishes. The righteous die. The righteous perishes. And no man layeth it to heart. Nobody lay it to their mind. They don't think like this. And merciful men are taken away. Merciful men. Men that don't give you necessarily what you deserve. That's mercy, not getting something you do deserve. Merciful men are taken away. None considering that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come. Perfect example of what you just seen and heard and witnessed with the Most High telling you in 2 Chronicles 34 and 28. He said, behold, I will gather thee to thy fathers. I mean, he's gonna die. And thou shalt be gathered to thy grave in peace. So you're going to go to your grave in peace. In peace. Neither shall thine eyes see all the evil that I will bring upon this place. So he's not going to bring the evil on the place for the evil people that are draw evil to them until he's died in peace. Like we just read. Neither shall thine eyes see all the evil that I, that's the Most High, will bring upon this place, and upon the inhabitants of the same, upon the people that's going to be living in the place. He's going to bring the evil upon them. So they brought the king word again. So, let's continue. Job 22. Job, the 22nd chapter. Job 22 and 29. When men are cast down, then thou shalt say, there is lifting up. Most High remove one man out of the way, then there's a lifting up. And he shall save the humble person. Yeah? He gonna save the humble person. It's very important to hear and apply humility in your house, in your life before the Most High. Look at Psalms, the 9th chapter. Go to Psalms, the 9th chapter. Psalm 9, and we're going to look at it. Well, we're going to start at verse 6. O thou enemy, destructions are come to a perpetual end, and thou hast destroyed, excuse me, Salaki, I'm wrong chapter. Salaki. All right, am I right? Oh yeah, this is right. I'm right, go ahead. Psalm 9 and 6. O thou enemy, destructions are come to a perpetual end, and thou hast destroyed cities. The memorial is perished with them. Hear that? Destruction going to come. And what's going to destroy cities, and the memorial is going to perish right with them. But the Most High shall endure forever.